Hey, this is Brian with Otter Works. A lot of our customers have been asking for shop tours and videos of how we make our products and things. So we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of Otter Woodworks, big shop here. We're not a big place as far as a shop. We've got 5 employees and we're kicking out a lot of product. But we're going to take a little time out of our day-to-day and give you a tour of the shop and show you a little bit more about how we do things. And there'll be more videos coming along in the future, so watch us on YouTube and check out our website and you'll see some more of our videos. Again, I'm going to give a little disclaimer. You're going to see that the shop's a little messy today. There's a lot of work laying around that needs to be going that we're not doing because we're doing a shop tour, but that's great. I want to share with you guys what we actually have here in our capabilities. This is our CNC. It's a kind of small format CNC, but it does the kind of precision work that we do. This is used mainly for our wood inlays. We do some signage and that sort of thing. Cutting out parts for our saddle racks and cutting out parts for our serving trays. That's what this machine does. This is an Axiom Pro 8. We got this from the guys up at Woodwork Supply in Ohio. Todd at Axiom. They're good guys. If you guys ever need anything from them, call them. They're really good machines. I highly recommend it. This one is actually a servo machine, so it's a little faster, a little bit more precise than the ones with the stepper motors. Costs a little bit more, but it's well worth it. And we generally run this machine probably 6 to 8 hours a day when we're in full production, so it gets a lot of use. But user friendly and overall does what we need it to do. This is one of the latest additions in our shop. It's OM Tech laser. It's a 130 watt laser, large format. We have a small laser you'll see here in a little bit that we've been using for all our laser engraving, and quite frankly our workload's got to the point that we couldn't keep up with the little one. We've also got some new products in development that we want to do, and this is going to allow us to do those. Some of our new products that are going to be along the client gifting, and we're going to have some new leather keychains that are specific to the industry. It's going to be pretty cool. My wife has been after us to make Christmas ornaments this year, so you're probably going to see some cool Christmas ornaments out of Otter Woodworks this year. But as we get going with this thing, you'll get to see what we're doing. We'll shoot some videos of it. We don't even have it up and running. It's so new to the shop. We've just now got it installed, and within the next week or so we should have it up and maybe some videos posted pretty quick here. Next piece of equipment you see here is our planer. This is an old Woodmaster 725, it's a 24-inch planer. We've done some updates and modifications on it. It's an older machine, probably made them, I'm going to say the early to mid 90s. Bought this machine used. It's a 3-phase machine. We don't have 3-phase here, so we've got a VFD driving it, and it works great for us. We put the poly bed on it. We also put a spiral cutter head. The spiral cutter head really helps us out on a lot of the gnarly woods and stuff that we use that are so pretty in these boards. If it was all straight grain stuff, a normal planer head works great, but this one really shines with what we do. Plus it also helps us on our sanding process. The finish on it is a lot smoother than the regular blade head, and helps us out a lot on the finish. Just saves us a lot of time. But it's a good old machine. We're not scared to use equipment around here. That's all we can afford, right? This is another late addition to our shop. We just had this installed here for the last few days. We've just been getting it up and going. As you can see, we've run quite a bit of material on it, kind of figuring the process out. One of the considerations on this machine was a small shop space. I would probably have gone with a larger format wide belt sander, but because of the restrictions on space here and all the projects we're doing, this is really a better choice for us. One of the good things about this machine is it's also not just a wide belt sander, but it's got a platen in it. So we can go up to 180 grit with this. What it allows us to do is take our blanks that you saw us putting together here, and we'll finish sand those after they come off this planer that you'll see. And most of the sanding's done right here at this stage before we ever get to the hand sanding. This really speeds the process up for us, and it's been a good addition to the shop. Good addition. We can sand something that's 15 inches wide or 30 if it's open-ended if we run it back through the other way. For larger table projects and stuff, I don't know how well this is going to work. We've got an outside source that we use. We basically pay somebody to sand some of our bigger tables for that reason. But we're going to try this on some and see if it'll work. If it does, great. If not, we'll continue doing what we're doing. Here we are at a sanding station, and this is where we do the hand sanding on our boards and different custom things we build. We have little racks over here for our random orbital sanders. We have a larger sanders, belt sanders for dimensioning things. Got them down here. Most of this stuff's under the bench. Once we get things sanded here by hand, then this also becomes my spray area to finish our boards. We also do a lot of little custom products, and you'll see there's lots of hardware and things behind us that we put that stuff together with. This is probably one of the more important stations because there's a lot of hand work that goes on right here, and this is where you really see the quality come out in the work that we do. This is our K40 laser. This is what we do our laser engraving with. This one's really highly modified, and as you'll see, we just bought a lot bigger laser because this one got to where it's running about, even having to run it on the weekends to keep up with the workload. But what we did with this one, it had a real small, like an 8x12 work area. We cut the bottom out, and I changed the laser head to shoot below the machine so we can slide our work underneath it. And somebody said, well, you gonna get rid of that? I said, no, actually, if the item that we're working on is too big to get in a new big machine, we can actually take this one and set it on something and do it. So it'll still have a place in our shop, but it's worked real well. It's a little bit slow. Anybody can afford one of these little K40s, but they do a really good job. This is our glue up station. This is where we make most of the blanks for our boards and our cutting boards, tables, or whatever we're doing. Just some things of interest here. We have what's called wood. I'll talk right here in a second. Workrite wood welder. That tongue tied, right? This is actually uses radio frequency to set our glue. This speeds up our glue up process tremendously. And the way this usually works right here is we got our blanks that we've run on the table saw. We'll bring them over here. We'll do a dry glue up. If they don't work the way we want, we'll send them over here to the jointer. Just turn around and joint the edges. Put them back over here, glue them up, and then use the wood welder here to go ahead and set the glue. Then we can unclamp, go on to the next process. We'll do some videos just on this wood welder and how we use it. It's old technology, but it really speeds up our process. One of the things that we run into in our shop, we're so small, we're only about 25 by 40 shop. We've got a lot of equipment in here. We've got as many as 5 people working at one time, so we got to be very efficient in the use of space. So time is a killer for us. This right here really saves us a lot of time on making our blanks. Just in case any of y'all are curious what's on our wall here, we got several things we can talk about for you. We got a coaster jig for our CNC. We've got a straight line jig here, also a large one. We've got our glue up jig for when we're doing our cutting boards, some of our end-grain cutting boards. We've got cinch loom jigs up there. Miter sled, of course, when we're doing our cutting boards and different things with it. We've got a flap sander. This is not normally where this is used at, but it's stored here right now. Some of the more intricate details on the edges of things, we can use this to sand and save us a little time. We've got a hydraulic press here that you probably can't see at the end of it, but just know it's like a bearing press. We use this for our wood inlays. We can clamp them and make them work, but I can clamp 4 or 5 in there at once with this, and just makes things go a lot faster. There again is for speed. You'll see a small planer that we use on little things. Belts for our large wide belt sander. This is just a place to keep stuff. These jigs, we lose them and then have to make another one if we don't have them where we can put our hands on them. This is our table saw here in the shop. It's a Grizzly table saw. Believe it or not, I've heard a lot of bad things about some of these Grizzly machines, but as you notice, we've got several. This is a really accurate machine. We've had really good luck with it. But one of the things that I've learned, one of the harder things that I've learned when I was learning how to make cutting boards is getting glue up quality cuts on our wood. And I finally went to a guy that makes saw blades and sharpens them, and he got me fixed up on it. So I'll tell you what, this is going to be our first tip of the day. Maybe we'll have a section of that here as we go. This particular blade is a little bit different than you'll buy at a hardware store, okay? I spend as much as 150, 160 bucks on combination blades trying to be able to cut rip cuts and cross cuts with the same blade, just like they try to sell you. It also thin kerfs, right? It's going to save wood. Well, all that works against what we're trying to do here. To get a glue up quality cut, we got to go specific. This blade is a rip blade. That's all it is for. That's all we use it for. It's a very heavy, about 1/8 of an inch thick blade, real heavy carbide teeth, and the bevel is a dual ground on one tooth and a flat bevel, flat tooth behind it, and it alternates. It's about a 40 tooth blade. We also have stabilizers on it. You can't see down in there, so this blade will not move. It's heavy, it cuts a wide path, but when we take our boards off here, 90% of the time we can go straight to glue up without having to joint them. And that right there is the key to it. And you might think, well, how much would you have to spend for this blade? Well, instead of 150, 160 bucks, for my guys, it's a $50 blade. I mean, come on, 50 bucks compared to 150, and it'll do the job that the 150 blade will not do. More tips coming on saw blade choices and how to use them to make cutting boards and things. This is our 17-inch grizzly bandsaw. We use this for a lot of different operations, but especially on our inlaid boards, it's something we have to have. This particular machine, because we've got such a small shop, is dual purpose. It's set up for wood, but we can also put metal blades on it. And some of the table projects that we do, we make our own legs and things, we'll end up using this on that. The only thing that you got to be really careful about is getting oil on the machine when you got to go from wood to metal and back and forth. But works really well. It will take up to like 1.25 inch blade, so it does a good job for us on resawing. We go down to the smaller blades on the metal, and it's variable speed, so it works really well. And you see some of our equipment sitting here, rental equipment. We've been running air lines in here for some of the new equipment, so we've got a pipe threader in here from the rental place. We've also got a big, like an old metal machine. This is really used more for drill press. Right now we've got a small wood lathe on it because we're making wood balls. It's a project for my wife, a little jewelry project she's working on, and that's why that's sitting there. And I don't know if you can see behind me, but we have our dust collector as well. It's a clear view, works real well. Just need more of it. We can run 2 or 3 pieces of equipment, which is about all we can stand anyway in here. Thanks for watching our video today. If you watched it all the way to the end, we sure appreciate it. If you would, click down below and like, subscribe if you would. Check our other videos out on our other platforms, and be sure and check our website out. And above all, thanks for watching us, and we enjoyed making this for you.